everyone, and welcome to another episode of Respecting the Beer. My name is Gary Arndt. With me again are the two Okies who, as in the days of yore, put their stuff in a pickup truck, left the Dust Bowl, and came north for a better life, but with PhDs. The good doctors, Allison and Bobby Fleshman. And we got a very special guest today. He's a regular here at McFleshman's. He is a raconteur, a bon vivant, a very interesting guy, and technically part owner of a brewery, so I guess that's what kind of gets him on the show. Please welcome Denny Wandtke. How are you doing?
Awesome, Gary. Good to see you. Good to see Allison, Bobby. Love being here.
Thank you. Why don't you start out with how in the world you found this place?
Well, it's an interesting story because I think Allison will join that, but my wife and I were down here. We are 1% owners of a brewery in Amherst, Central Waters, and we are brewery fans.
So you're in the top 1%.
Yeah, I hope. I've been in a couple hundred breweries or upscale brew pubs coast to coast. It was kind of our hobby. And we were in Appleton one day shopping, and I said, I've heard of this brew pub. I read about it. We turned around. We were heading back home. We were south of town. We lived north of Waupaca. Turned around, came in, got here right at noon when they opened on a Saturday. And we walked into the bar and walked up, and Joel was tending bar.
You walked into the Joel show.
Yeah, walked into the Joel show.
Yes.
And I'm an IPA guy, but we walked in, and Joel said to my wife and I, have you been here before? We said, no, we haven't. He said, do you know anything about craft beer? I said, I don't know anything about brewing it. I listened to your guys' podcast, and I'm lost. I know a lot about drinking it, okay? And he said, well, I'm going to serve the best beer in Wisconsin, which turned out he's tied. It's really good. But I said, well, with humility, the best beer in Wisconsin at that time on Beer Advocate was Black Gold out of Central Waters. And he said, you know your beer, but I'm going to serve you a 547, which is in my very small top of the hit parade beers right now.
The moment you said Joel, I could have told this whole story.
Yes, I know that. But we have a beer. We probably had two, and didn't know Bobby and Allison. Allison was here. Joel had her meet us. She was kind enough to take us in the back, show us the brewing, thanked us, and we left.
Yes.
And then
you
Allison, you can take it from there.
Okay. So I'm going to go. I'm trying to think of the best way to tell this story. So I'll pick up where Denny just.
First of all, let's just say it's not because because Denny is an owner of another brewery that is here. It's because of what you're about to say.
Would you let me talk?
No, I just said the introduction was such. Yeah.
Build suspense, my dear. Anyway, so okay, so at the time, Denny, do you remember this? I think I had just had laryngitis. I could barely talk. And so Joel comes back and he says, hey, Allison, you're here. Could you give this couple a tour? They're very interested in beer, and they're just such great people. Give them a tour. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so Denny and his wife, Cindy, I take them back to the production area, and I show them, oh, this is the hot side. This is the cold side. This is where we brew the beer. And this is how the story of 547. And this is the story of how we got here. And I've given this tour a dozen or so times, and we got to talking. And Denny mentioned that he used to own a very popular restaurant and a tavern, pub, public house. And it was like, oh, that's lovely. But there was something about Denny's face. I knew I had talked to him before at some point in a past life, and I wasn't quite certain what it was. But we had a lovely conversation, and there it sat. And then we parted ways. We said thank you, and it was nice to meet you. And y'all went back to Waupaca, and I went on my merry way. And then I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go back about 10 years. 12.
Yeah.
Bobby and I, when we first moved to Wisconsin from Oklahoma, as Gary has mentioned, we just went and explored. We knew we wanted to open a brewery. The brewery was this idea in our heads. We didn't know what it was going to be. Are we going to do food? Are we going to do just a brewery? We don't know. So we went and explored all of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has so many amazing places to offer, not just parks, but also restaurants and pubs and breweries. So we just went and explored. I have no idea where we were in the state, but we stumbled upon this wonderful little Irish pub called T-Dubs. Turns out it was kind of in Waupaca, right? And so we went in We had the most lovely meal, and we had this great beer, and the feel of this place, the dark wood. I mean, I can remember even like the square pillars of the wood. There was just this intimacy and coziness of this place. And there was this man, the owner, it was very clear the owner, who greeted us. He walked around, and you could tell this guy knew all of the regulars and those that weren't regulars. He walked to our table, he greeted us, and he just made us feel so warm and welcome. And Bobby and I left, and we kept driving around the state of Wisconsin, and we always remembered that one Irish place. And when we were building McFleshman's, we thought, you know what? Remember the Irish guy. Remember the guy that runs that Irish pub. That's what we're trying to build. And he was always in the back of our minds. Lo and behold, 10 years later, I'm talking to this guy, and I know I've seen him before, and I was like, I don't remember. And so then I started doing some digging. And I look up T-Dubs because that's the name of the restaurant that he had mentioned when we had met. And so I wished Denny and Cindy off on their merry way. Later that night, I went and I'm like Googling and I'm trying to find it. And then I realized, that was the Irish pub guy that we've built this entire place after. I'm in tears. I'm like grabbing at Bobby's shirt. Oh my God, you won't believe who I just met. Oh my God, I met the Irish guy. Who you're not Irish at all. I mean,
a quarter.
There you go. But this
As the entire state is 1/4
Yes.
Irish.
But you know what they say? Like, people won't remember what you say. They'll remember how they made you feel. Denny made us feel the most welcome, and we have really built this space around that feeling. So first of all, I don't think I've ever directly thanked you for that. So I emailed Denny. I had his contact information. I was like, hey, I know we just met, but I have a story to tell you. And so I told him about realizing that we had met him many, many years prior and how much of an inspiration he was and just the vision of T-Dubs and how much it influenced McFleshman's.
And it wasn't just the wood and the beams. It was that service. I mean, the wood and the beams and that feel was awesome, and it felt
I think you only
really intimate.
talked to us for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It wasn't long. You were so respectful of our time, but you greeted us and just made us feel so welcome. And we were maybe not even 6 months into Wisconsin from our Oklahoma roots, and everyone at that point, me more than you, Bobby, would it be like, where are you from? You're not from Wisconsin. Although now I say Wisconsin, a little bit more Wisconsin-y than I did back then.
You celebrate the y'all and kind of squeeze past you once.
Y'all,
anyway,
you know.
Right?
Y'all, you know.
So fast forward to today.
Long way of saying thank you for the inspiration.
Such a long
For
way.
sure.
Thank you guys.
Denny, in all
Warms my
fairness,
heart.
she tells that story to everyone. First time I met her, she was like, your podcast is what, influenced McFleshman's. And was the name of the pub actually T-Dubs, or is that short for something?
No, it was T-Dubs Public
Oh,
House.
okay. Because it sounds like, B-Dubs, like for Buffalo Wild Wings or something. I didn't know if it was short for W or...
So you never got to experience it, yeah. And also the food. We didn't even mention the quality of the food.
It was so
Which
good.
is worth mentioning.
Yes.
And the beer, everything was so spot on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Warms my heart. And I think what you guys have done here is like that. Okay, I come in, and the first time to meet Joel, meet you, now meet you, meet Gary. Came downstairs, I just sat down at the pub club table and talked to everybody. And I live 32 miles from here. If I come on a Wednesday night, I'm limited to 2 547s because I have to drive home. So I think that's the key, because when people talk about AI now, I'm saying it's going to open the world for people that can talk, because people are sick of doing this. And so what we were able to do, my grandmother owned a tavern, sold it in 1960. My dad and my uncle were World War II veterans, tended bar there. My uncle ran John Kennedy's campaign in central Wisconsin. Got to have dinner with Senator Kennedy when I was 10. I can barely remember it. But their thing was, those taverns were this. It was where people gathered like they are downstairs right now, having conversations, playing cards, being with their loved ones, meeting new people. And so that's what I grew up with. And then I think we lost that. I was in the service. I studied nuclear, chemical, and biological warfare, studied the Russians. They weren't our friends then either. And we kind of lost that. I came home, and the taverns kind of went too heavy of drinking, not as much conversation. And then the craft beer industry started to happen. And at that time, that Central Waters came about. We were involved with that, still are. I have 2 favorite pubs, McFleshman's and Central Waters, okay, and breweries. And so I had a chance to start in to be a small investor in T-Dubs. And Paulie and I, and we had 2 other partners which weren't good, and we moved them out. And then it took us about 2 years to put a team together, and I think you 2 know that. It takes time.
It does
but
take
we
time.
started to draw the people as you are that are like you. And when you came into our place, it was any one of our 12 wait staff, any one of our 3 bartenders. Our chef was self-trained, and we could do white linen food at a very high level if you wanted us to. But we did pub food, I think, pretty well. But Jake would come out. He was a young guy. He'd come out and visit with everybody. And that's the difference. My wife and I were out at a supper club west of Waupaca the other night, and we walked in the door. I hadn't been there in 5 years. And the owner came out and said, "We really loved your place." And I had 3 couples come up to me and thank us for creating a place. It wasn't all me, okay? It was our whole team was respectful. And I will kind of end this with saying, like right now downstairs, I don't think that you guys understand as much as you should. And you, Gary, about my family listens to podcasts, Everything Everywhere Daily, about how you impact people's lives. Okay, it's the beer. You're making world-class beer, okay? And I can tell you a lot of places that don't. You don't like it when I tell you that, but that's all right. It's just the truth. But the idea is you have people that this is home, and they're going to talk to somebody, and good on you, okay?
Beer and conversation. That's what we do.
Let me pose a question to all 3 of you. What you're described, the experience you had there, is rare. It does not happen in most places. Yet it would seem like it would be a very commonsensical thing to do to have that level of service. Why do you think it's so rare in the service industry to provide that kind of service?
We had a huge advantage, I think, over most breweries in that we were a restaurant. We were a public house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 12 staff working the room all the time. And as you guys have learned here, you have tables where somebody has lost a spouse, they're older, this is their place, or their kids moved away, this is their place, or they're new in town. And we had those people that you could tell if you've been in it a while, they wanted you to sit at their table. Mm-hmm. You have other people, you could sense it, you just were 15 feet away, you gave them 2 thumbs up, they gave you 2 thumbs up, and you moved on. And I think that's what you've been able to do here, because I've been here a fair amount, and it's 32 miles one way. Okay?
Yeah.
And I've never lacked for people to talk to, and everybody's interesting. I think that's what our nation needs, and I think that's what the breweries provide. And when like Gary, I talked to you, I was just in Stevens Point at one of the oldest pubs there, stopped. I had to ask for a menu at the bar. And I had, 3 young bartenders leaning against the back bar, and I counted them. There were 16 people at the bar, and we had to ask for everything. And there's too much of that. And I will preface that by saying I grew up in the era of the professional bartender. I'm 76. Okay, so when I went to any one of the 4 or 5 bars in our area, this is the same guy was there all the time, and he read the Wall Street Journal.
And by bartender, you're not talking about like the modern day mixologist,
Nope.
cocktail maker.
Nope.
This is
Gary, an old fashioned then was a shot in a beer. Okay, the
talking
beer was in one
Mo
glass
from
and
The
booze.
Simpsons.
Yep. Well, and you were talking about guys that were well read. I mean, they read the Wall Street Journal, they read the sports section, they would the legendary bar I went to, Lloyd's of Manawa, which I was 16. I mean, we had 2 farmers that came in, one who never left the county, and one's passion was the kings and queens of Europe, and the other's passion was the capitalist system that we run here. And they could talk for hours. I mean, they were PhDs in what they did,
Wow.
and probably didn't get out of high school. Okay.
The guy whose book you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Will
have his name.
Guadara. Is that his?
Yeah, Will Guadara.
So I was listening to an interview. Did you hear the story about the hot dog?
Yes.
Yes, please tell the story.
So he runs a Michelin 3-star restaurant. One of the servers overhears them saying it was their last night in New York. The one thing we didn't get to do was have a real New York City hot dog on the street. So the server brings us to the back room. They rush out. They buy a hot dog off the street, bring it in, do their Michelin 3-star stuff to it. It's not just a plain hot dog. And then they come out and say, we heard this, we'd like to present this to you. And this is a scene in The Bear where they do the same thing in Chicago, but with pizza.
Ah, okay.
But I was thinking of that because I've seen that here many times. You don't even realize you're doing it.
I'm giving Gary a weird face right now, asking him to explain.
I remember
more.
sitting at the bar, and I was saying, like, I had never had a barrel-aged beer, and I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just marketing, right? And Bobby didn't say a word. He just poured me one of the beers, and he said, try it.
Which one? Was it Imperial?
No, I think it was like a...
Not that I'm
one
questioning
of our
you
barrel-aged
now.
box
I'm giving him
or
dagger
Imperial
look.
stouts, yeah.
But I tried it, and I was shocked. Because if I didn't know better, I would have sworn that you had taken a shot of bourbon and put it in. Like, it was clearly that infused by it. And I did not think that was possible. And I remember several times where we've been sitting at the bar saying, like, okay, do the glasses really make a difference? And so we conducted an experiment right on the spot where we tried 547 in different shaped glasses.
Yep.
Or just stuff like this. And I don't think you guys are thinking of it in this term.
Dude, that's just science.
I love how our beer nerdism is grouped in with a Michelin 3-star
I love it.
conversation because that's all we are.
Or whether it's even on a Saturday where you get a lot of people who maybe this is their first time there. They come in with their little passport book and get the
Yeah,
stamp.
I love the passport.
And-
book. Oh my gosh.
Joel or who's ever behind the bar, they see the menu and they're kind of overwhelmed and they don't know what to get. And so they just start pouring samples.
Yep.
And it's like, here you go, try this. Here you go, try this.
Yeah.
And it's one 547 sample after the next, right? Yeah.
5%. 1, 5%, 2.
And a lot of people, or even just explaining, well, we got cask beers. And you may have never had a cask beer because nobody serves cask beers. Or explaining what a night. And so
Or the
it's that
Lucre
level of, and when you're giving someone a sample of something, or you're not worried about whether or not you're making a sale on that thing. You're just trying to give a good experience.
That's so funny.
And the end result is you are going to make more money. You're just playing the long game.
Oh my gosh. Well, and one of my favorite things is when a customer will come in and they're like there's only a group of them and it's more than about 4 or 5. And you can tell when it's 4 or 5 that they haven't gotten together in a while because 4 or 5 schedules all at once, that takes a while. And there's always one of them that's like, no, I don't drink beer. And they'll step back. That's the person I'm like, oh, no, seriously, I will find you a beer. You don't even think that it tastes like beer, but we have a beer that doesn't taste like beer, even though our slogan is beer-flavored beer. Mm-hmm. We also have non-beer flavored beer that's a beer. And it's like the wine drinker or the person that's like, I don't really know.
We would like to get people outside of the sphere of beer to try beer.
But you make beers that what people think of as beer is Miller Lite.
Right.
True.
That is what most people have, and there's some variation of that. It's all the same. Coors Light, Michelob Ultra, whatever. It's all that kind of lager. That's all they've ever had.
They're models of efficiency.
Maybe they've had a Guinness or an IPA, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you were to pour them a Gosa,
Go
for
Team
example,
Goza.
they've never heard of it.
True.
And it tastes like something that they don't associate with beer.
It's so zesty and refreshing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're spot on, Gary. You want to have a place that people feel warm in and want to come back. When you create a place, I come in here and I come in at odd times and there's people here and they're visiting and they see what's going on and that's your base,
Yeah.
And my wife and I always, like Bobby and I both married above our station in life, Gary, just so you know that.
That's why I'm not married.
Let's edit that piece out so Allison can hold it over.
Oh, our listeners know.
Yes. But the idea was, to create a place for people to come to.
Yeah.
And my wife and I always joke and say, if we come to your place, restaurant, bar, or whatever, and you care that we're there, you can be pretty mediocre and we'll be back. If you don't care that we're there, you better have a James Beard nominated chef or we're not coming back. Okay.
Right.
And there's too many other opportunities out there. So from what I can see, you guys are certainly on the right path.
Well, speaking of that path, it has to be said that Denny has become so much more than just a mentor as well. There have been times when we reach out to him and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Business is hard, especially the hospitality business, as things come up and tariffs come up and like changes in market demand come up and like all of these things that he has been such a safe space for us to go and look at. Like, we can look him in the eye and he can read our eyes and know like, yeah, it's hard. And he's like, I'm here for you.
I would never
And-
do your business.
Oh,
Flat out.
it
I would.
It's hard. No,
It's
really hard.
I've cried myself to sleep numerous times,
But
even in
a couple
the past
years,
few
you get
months.
tenure.
That's the other thing, the actual gig down the street.
Denny's humble, though. I say he's one of our mentors, and he
Yes.
would say we should get better mentors.
That's exactly, the truth.
But I appreciate the open and honest and candid conversations we can have, and not only that, just the wealth of experience. Because, like, no one trains you for this type of job. And yet, and I think it's the connection and talking with people and learning and listening from stories that you can really, figure out how best to navigate the terrain as it changes beneath your feet.
Yeah, and people try to untangle who I am, what makes me do.
Oh, good luck, y'all.
Build homes and then do physics and then open a brewery.
I've been married to him for 19 years tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, and our kid is 6.5 today.
I know.
For what that's worth.
And that's married 19 years.
Yep, exactly. But I hit challenges head on. That's really, in summary, who I am. If I see a goal, I'll learn whatever I need to learn to get through the challenges that get me between here where I am and where that goal is.
But surely, Denny, the challenges you've faced.
Oh, I started 6 businesses in my life. I was and they were all successful at some level. I mean, I was a middle of the tracks kid. My folks weren't wealthy. I got out of service with no money. Got divorced young, raised 2 boys on my own, lived in a used double-wide mobile home on the same property that I own, a little log cabin with my wife. So, yeah, it's been the fight. But I've always enjoyed this. And I think the advantage that you have is that you are wonderful people. But set that aside. You're hard workers. You have skill sets. We closed T-Dubs for COVID.
Yeah.
When Paulie and I have an environmental company which makes me a living. And my partner owned a huge Dairy Queen, which made him a living. So we were profitable, but not hugely because we were absentee. We were there. But I think when we tried to reopen, we had 6 kitchen staff, including an outstanding young chef. We got 1 back, and it wasn't him. We had 3 great bartenders, Joel-level bartenders.
Yeah.
Okay. We got 1 back. We had 12 wait staff. We got 2 back. And crazy enough, the government sent us $314,000 to reopen. And Paulie and I are not rich guys. I'm 76. I'm still running my company. I'm healthy. I'm fine. But we could not put it back together with our A-team.
Yep.
And our clientele or our accountant said, just spend the money. You can keep it. See, because we didn't have your guys' skills. Okay, we didn't have your knowledge about what you're doing, making liquid every day. I can work the floor, but somebody still has to put good food out there, okay?
Yeah.
And so we could not put our A-team back together, and we sent the money back. We said, we don't steal, and we're not rich guys, but we're not. So and our accountant said, you guys are flipping crazy. All you got to do is spend it. Well, we're not going to do that. That's the hard part of this industry, because we had we had 50 staff between dishwashers and part-time waitresses. But because of people like you two that came in, we had full-time registered nurses that used to be waitresses in college that would give us 2 nights a week because we love it here. It's so fun, and we make money, and we can send a kid to college. And we also had 3 waiters, which was a far different thing. I don't know in Appleton, is there any place that has 3 waiters right now? 2 of them skilled in San Francisco and L.A., and so our wait staff capacity was at a pretty high level. Which I got a million stories, but you guys should be writing them down. Okay.
That's a good point.
Because I tell them, and in my living, I have to go to San Francisco and work a show every 3 years in the automobile environmental business. The company I work with, I'm a distributor, takes me to a dining place called Taddish Grill. And a white linen place, get a Cioppino there. I'm working our pub's Friday night fish fry. And with humility, we had the best fish fry in the state. And I'm still looking for one to match it, and I could describe it for your readers, but they'll be, But so I wait on this table, 12 people, and it was small. We seat 54 in the dining room. and they're loving it. And I bust some tables, and I ask them, "You've all been here before?" Nope, none of us have been here before. Where are you from? California. What are you doing here? Family reunion. Where are you from in California? San Francisco. I said, it's one of my favorite cities. I work a show there every 3 years. This guy looks at me and said, so what do you know about San Francisco? I said, I know that Taddy's Grill is the oldest continuous business, started in 1848, and I had a great chupino there 3 months ago. The whole table gets quiet. This guy looks at me and says, I'm the executive chef at Taddy's Grill. No, what are the odds?
You've told me that story before.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so he sent us back their white linen menu. We had the best time at T-Dubs.
Oh my God!
So
Again.
you touch people, and that's
Well,
that's what
and
we
I
do.
think the email title when I emailed you, because you gave me your card, and I think serendipity was the subject line.
Oh, I still read it. It
Oh my
still
God!
makes my heart warm.
Oh my God! We need to frame it and put it in the tap room downstairs. Because again, it's that connection with people and the sharing of stories. And we don't know why we share what stories we share. Although, Gary, you have way too many stories to share. I'm just going to say that because, in this one time in
I lived a
Lithuania,
lot of
I did
life.
blah, 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 blah. But I think that it's the meaningful moments. And it's that meaningful moment that we want to share with people because it means so much to us.
Well, how often are people, they just need a kind comment.
Yes.
Or they just need somebody to encourage them when they're down and out, because all I hear is they hear too much negative.
Yep.
When we were at the Alchemist when it was in Waterbury before the hurricane hit it, and as you know, they make Heady Topper.
The
one of first
originator,
great, IPA.
arguably, of the entire hazy
Yep.
IPA trend. Yep.
And Paulie and I are sitting at the bar, and we thought they made it there. We're sure they did, but great atmosphere, having a Heady Topper, and they said, "What would you like to eat? What would you have?" He said, recommend the porter chicken. They took 4-pound free-range chickens, halved them, somehow seared them in a cast iron skillet, and their porter beer, porcini mushrooms and onions, put the cast iron into the oven till it was done, and put the whole thing on polenta.
Wow.
Oh, my God. And we used to do that at T-Dubs once a month. And if we made 30 of them, they were gone in 30 minutes. But what we all learn by going to those places, you also learn how not to do it.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, and when we go out, a plug, as you've told you about our friend Heather Mullins at Knowlton House Distillery. We were there Saturday night. She's making, gin and vodka at the level of your beers. I mean, it's really, really good. But you watch the professionals in the wait staffing business, just the little things they do that makes their life easier, makes it easier for the kitchen, makes it easier for everybody involved. As an example, Heather and Luke, they run on Sunday mornings a farmer's market at the distillery. Music, and they're packed. They learn very quickly, as you guys have, like Mile of Music, you're going to get overrun. Oh. Okay, well, they got overrun. So we were there Saturday night, took my bride on a date. She sat down with us. I said, how are you handling it? We looked at the menu. They have a kitchen. And we cut out the 3 longest prep dishes for that time. We looked at our cocktails because they're all muddled. They're 2-time gold medal winner at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. We cut all those out. Yeah. So she made a liqueur like you're brewing to meet those needs.
Yep.
Well, that's how you help customers. Right. Now she took the lead time down from 2 hours to 30 minutes.
Yep.
And you guys get it. A lot of places don't get it.
Right.
Well, and that's where it's Bobby and I are. This is kind of a weird side tangent, but you're used to it, all the listeners now. But we have gone to so many Tom Petty and the Heartbreaker shows, and it was always interesting to hear the people behind us because they'd always say, "Oh, he didn't play this or he didn't play that," and I'm not kidding. I've been to 34 shows. You went to 48, I think. Our last count.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Anyway. But you can't play all the greatest hits at a concert and play the new stuff. And so as we're dealing with the Mile of Music menu, we have 18 taps in our tap room, and we have decided, because it's more important to make sure that we can get the 600 people per hour through the door, that we are doubling up on the taps. And so tap 1 and 2 are both 547. Tap 3 and 4 are both our State Street Light Lager. And so we're going to reduce our menu significantly, but just because it's the experience, it's important. And the experience is not the beer during Mile of Music. It's the music. And so we're trying to we adjust the space to make sure that we can meet the desire of the customer.
In the words of Mao Zedong, quantity has a quality all its own.
Oh my God, right?
I don't know if he actually said that, but I love the quote.
But it's stressful too, because then it's like, kill your darlings. Like, which ones are we going to kill today?
No, but for something like that, you have to. I
You
think.
have to.
Yeah.
It is a different, and this is where it's frustrating because people will, come up to us, oh, McFleshman's, I come to you for Mile of Music. We're like, then you haven't been to the pub. You haven't, you have been, but you haven't been because there's
But if the
two different
listeners
flavors.
are tuning in on this, 547 will have 2 lines.
That's true.
So that one's good.
Yeah. 3, actually
And
4.
by listener, I mean Joel.
4?
This will come out after.
Okay, yeah.
That's true. That's fair.
I think where you have to figure it out though. We when we were at T-Dubs, we had a really, really good fish fry, but part of it was roasted local red potatoes, small ones, and we had to keep up. So we would take sheet pans and rub them with olive oil, bake them till they were done, put them in the cooler. You guys were our kitchen, you could see it.
Yep.
And it was very small. So then when that fish fry came in, you had already done small roasted reds. We would have them, put them on a searing hot grill in clarified butter upside down, crisp up those potato edges and that, and on the plate. And oh my gosh. But if you tried to do that from scratch, you had no time.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to get them out there. So those are the little things you learn painfully sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And they add up. It really does. Because people don't know why they're frustrated, but when they're waiting that extra 5 minutes or 2 minutes or even 30 seconds, especially when they're getting their beer on their own, like walking to the taproom bar, it can make a huge difference.
But
So-
I would ask you guys this, is that, Paulie and I talked on the way down here. I told him I was coming. He was my partner at T-Dubs, a really knowledgeable beer guy, great human being. In the 200 places we were at, we remember 4 or 5. Okay, when I send people here, they remember and they come back. And I send them because they love everything, love the liquid, but they love the people in the building. And shouldn't we remember more than that?
Yep.
And it's crazy because obviously we remember American Flatbread and The Alchemist and Bell's is hard to beat. I mean, as you guys know, I was camped on the Two Hearted in 1975 before they named it that beer.
Right.
We really like Brewery Vivant in
Same here.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I had a Belgian IPA with Oysters Rockefeller there one night. That seemed to work.
Yep.
And then we I'm not talking about Wisconsin breweries. I don't want to talk about home, but, we really jumped quite a ways to Odell's.
Yeah.
We were
That's
there.
one of my top
Odell's.
4. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the year they won their gold medal at the World Beer Contest and
Yep.
then at GABF for
Yep.
their IPA. We walked in the door and happened to be the brewer was there. And of course, Paulie lies to him and said, I'm Paul from Central Waters. Well, he's thinking Paul Graham, which Paulie's not Paul Graham.
Right.
But he took us on a tour in the back, and we asked him, really a good guy, and he said, we asked him, do you have any of your double gold medal IPA left? No, it's all gone. So he took us in the back, took us to his R&D room. He had one oak barrel that he was experimenting with.
God.
He said, because Central Waters had won the GABF for that year for one of them, and he said, do you have any with you? I said, I have 2 6-packs in a cooler in my truck. He said, I really have 1 case of my gold medal award-winning IPA. We swapped him even up, okay? So, But how do you go to all those places, and you've been to them, and
I lived in Boulder.
they
so
didn't
That
make
helped.
enough,
Yep.
they didn't make enough of an impression on you,
Yeah.
either from the quality of whatever it was, and then the 21st Amendment in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
2NA. Yep.
Soon to be
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Yeah?
He's in the next few weeks.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
kidding.
Soon.
I should be listening. I should be reading the email.
Well, tell them
shouldn't
we
I?
were there, and because they let us go behind the bar with
Yeah.
the wait staff and get our picture taken, and they
Sean
at that time they were
O'Sullivan.
having a lot of their beer brewed in Minnesota, Paulie's home state. So that's, to me, when Gary, you and I were here, it's the feel you get at a craft brewery that I used to get growing up in taverns that kind of drifted away, and now this is where we want to be.
I love this so much.
We need to get you to get Anello to respond to my emails.
Okay.
we're gonna get Central Waters on the show, and I don't know what it takes. People he knows closer to him that
I'll-
don't use email.
I'll get him going.
Okay.
The industry's an interesting thing right now.
I'm a busy guy too. I don't
Yeah.
respond to all the
Yeah.
emails. I get it.
Yeah.
Totally.
You do respond to me, though, after multiple texts, and then I push the notify now button.
The Unreasonable Hospitality book, for anybody that's listening that's in the restaurant or brewery business, should
Game
buy it
changer.
and read it, because there's a lot of good lessons in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to we have a new taproom manager, event manager, who is fixated on hospitality.
She's the one that gave me the book.
And she's
Yep.
the
Her
one
name's Emmy.
that introduced us.
Yep.
And we'll get her on the show, too, because
I think one of the
she gets
hardest
this.
parts for you guys, which wasn't for us, as we talked about a few minutes ago, is to have your bartending staff, if they get a break, to just come out and work the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not comfortable for everybody all the time, but they'll get used to it. And the one gift that I've been given is I'm pretty good with geography. So no matter where people were from, I could talk to them.
Sure.
And my friends from Northern Illinois who think that they're hated by everybody in Wisconsin, you know, they would come in and I would say, "Where are you from?" Or Northeast Illinois. I said, "Well, around Chicago, yeah, Naples." So I said, "Oh, you're way too spoiled. I worked there, and there's 1,000 great restaurants. You got it way too good." And you could just see the tenseness. You
Right.
know,
I'd have called him a fib.
yeah, I know that.
But that's me.
Yes. So yeah, it's been a good run, and thank you guys for being here.
Well, thank you for doing what you did, because I have circled on my notes here that you have been our chief inspiration.
Oh, thank
Yep.
you.
I would say in the top, whatever number of bullets, but yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You created a space we didn't know who you were,
Yeah.
and it's the reason that this room exists that you're sitting in right now.
The whole
For sure.
building. Like
Yep.
it, yeah. I mean, there have been, especially when this place was gutted and we were running out of money and we needed to open the doors, and it's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Like tears in our eyes. Remember the Irish guy? Remember the Irish restaurant? We can do it. You became this like,
Remember that service.
remember that feeling.
Never mind whatever money was spent on the place. It was that service that really made the impression.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you go back, you can still pull up open table reviews, and it's Rose gave me a hug. You know, Jeremiah had my drink ready for me. You know, it was just those little things.
Yep.
You know, what did Maya Angelou say? People don't remember what you say, they don't remember what they do, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yep.
Exactly.
So you guys got it going on. I'm proud to
100%.
be here, proud to be part of it. Yeah.
You're part of the cult.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be poignant if the bell rang right now.
You're stuck with me now, but because it's going to be, the next few years are going to be tough. You know, it just keeps swinging, and that's what we do.
Yep.
Remember, I run a 44-year-old business out of the office in the back of my car garage at home,
Yeah.
in a parts department across the driveway, and they're coming tomorrow to video us because they think we know something. I got them fooled, okay?
Fake it till you make it, no
That's
matter
it.
how long it may be.
That's it. That's it.
All right, well, that will conclude this episode of Respecting the Beer. The producer of Respecting the Beer is David Kelso. Without David, this show would go like the dodo. Please remember to join the Facebook group to get updates and support the show over on Patreon, where you can listen to the bits that don't make it onto the show and get access to specially brewed beers like the recently brewed Belgian Triple. Links to both of these can be found in the show notes. And until next time, please remember to respect the beer.